Today we are honored to welcome the Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum to the Nasdaq market site in Times Square, New York, as we get set to ring today's opening bell. On April 19, 1995, the Oklahoma City bombing shook our nation to its core. To this day, it remains the largest domestic terrorist attack on American soil, and for so many Americans, that day was the first time our citizens became aware of a vulnerability to the devastating impacts of terrorism. The lessons we learned that day, and in the months and years thereafter, have forever changed the way America responds to violence and terrorism. Those lessons inform the rescue, recovery, and healing efforts in the wake of September 11th right here in New York City. The events in Oklahoma City also show the resilience of the American people and showed the U.S. how a community can recover from this kind of tragedy. Oklahomans did not bow to the fear and terror as the attackers had intended. Rather, the community came together, picked themselves up, and showed true strength and love in the face of hatred and evil. We thank all of our guests here today for their commitment to honoring the victims, survivors, and all those affected by the Oklahoma City bombing. We now ask that we all take a moment of silence as we remember the lives that were lost that day. Thank you. Now please join me in welcoming Susan Winchester, Chairman of the Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum Board of Trustees and co-chair of the 20th Anniversary Committee, to the podium for further remarks.
Thank you, Mike. Today I'm joined by Kari, Watkins, the Executive Director of the Oklahoma City Memorial Museum, along with our trustees, Mike Turpen, Traci Cook, Kim Neese, Justice Stephen Taylor, Oklahoma City Chief of Police, Bill Citty, Deputy Fire Chief, Kellie Sawyers, and Polly Nichols, my 20th Anniversary co-chair. The stories of those lost in 1995 continue to live in our hearts forever. But along with those stories are thousands of enduring stories of remarkable generosity, of giving until there was absolutely no more to give. On that April day, cars became ambulances, strangers became neighbors, people literally donated the shoes off their feet because that's who we are as Oklahomans. That standard of generosity very quickly became known as the Oklahoma Standard. Today, 20 years later, it's more important than ever before that we continue to show that commitment and help foster its place in our culture forever. There are so many people today who were not here in 1995. There is an entire generation of young people who were either born after the event or who are too young to remember. And it's up to us, all of us, to show them how, even in the most tragic event, there can be the very best of people. That's why we've launched a campaign leading up to the 20th anniversary that asks everyone to commit to the Oklahoma Standard, to commit by doing 3 very simple acts: 1 act of kindness, 1 act of service, and 1 act of honor. We want to be sure to instill in everyone the same spirit of giving and generosity that helped Oklahomans move forward from tragedy and be stronger than ever before. Thank you again. And we hope you will join us in commemorating how far we've come during this 20th anniversary year. Thank you.
Over at the Nasdaq, the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum, in recognition of the upcoming 20th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. Hard to believe that it was 20 years ago.
Another one where we all remember where we were.